Top 10 super anime with an overpowered main character. One of the appeals of superpower anime is the main characters working towards building their subpar power to be the strongest one out there. And sure, it's good fun to watch the training montages and time skips, but sometimes there's nothing like a good one-sided beatdown from an overpowered protagonist. So today, we're looking into some of the strongest main characters from superpower anime. Follow the drill, like, share, subscribe, and ring the notification bell. Heavy spoiler warnings, so proceed at your own risk. Number 10. Legend of the Legendary Heroes, Reiner Lute.
なんだよお前どうした逆らうよお前の分子は砂となって消える
When you think of overpowered or cheat level abilities, you can't help bringing up the ability to copy other abilities. Just the notion of having the skill you worked so hard on get stolen and used against you is sure to make any fighter quake in their boots. The protagonist from his redundantly named anime takes this to the next level though, as his high power or alpha stigma allows him to copy magic spells and abilities with a glance and even amplify them with his own tremendous reserves of energy, easily taking on even the highest class of magic users in his world. As if that wasn't enough, he can also complete spells that have yet to be perfected. Talk about a severe case of being a copycat. Number 9. Problem children are coming from another world, aren't they? Sakamaki Aizeyoi.
会いたかったぜ魔王様
Even with that mouthful of a title, this short but action-packed fantasy anime shows us a ragtag team of misfits as they're whisked away to another world where they can make full use of the special powers they've been granted, referred to as gifts. The main character, Aizeyoi, is an enigma even to the gods of their fantasy world, only appraising his gift as code unknown. As its sheer power cannot be gauged, most people who have fought him can only say that it seems to be a gift to break other gifts. In addition to that, he's been blessed with superior speed, strength, intellect, a keen intuition, and the charisma to match his immeasurable power. He's one to definitely steer clear of. Number 8. Irregular from Magic High School, Shiba Tatsuya.
発動
Much like the previous two entries on the list, the Irregular Course's secret weapon is an ability user that cancels out other abilities before they can even be cast out. Of course, he wouldn't make it on the list if that was all he could do though. He also has a separate ability that works on the principle of deconstruction and rebuilding objects and living things to the molecular level. This allows him to instantly vaporize any enemy into literal atoms without even touching them and recovering from what would otherwise be fatal injuries. The current extent of his powers are mostly unknown, even with the release of the new season. But it's certain that he's still hiding a large bulk of his true abilities since he wouldn't be much of a secret weapon otherwise. Number 7. No Game, No Life, Sora and Shiro.
信じられない相手はたったの4人
With a game addiction that puts Twitch streamers to shame, Sora and Shiro are an online legend, only known as Blank, with proficiency for games so high they can even play using their feet and hands at the same time. But online games aren't the only thing they're good at. With Sora's cunning and Shiro's genius, they're able to conquer almost any game thrown at them, save for the one game called Life, since they spend all their time indoors playing. Unbelievably convenient for them though, the god of another world is more than thrilled to take them to a world where everything is run by games. And by everything, we mean everything, from the coins in your purse to the rights of your species as a whole. So watch this dynamic duo win game after game and climb to the top while they put their incredible skill on display for all to see. Number 6. 7 Deadly Sins, Meliodas.
俺たち兄弟の問題だ。引っ込んでろ。
In a classic twist of evil things turned good, 7 Deadly Sins follows an elite band of knights led by their captain, Meliodas. Don't let his short stature fool you. This little man packs a gigantic wallop. With his special ability, Full Counter, he's able to return any magical attack thrown at him regardless of its strength, with twice its original power, which, in tandem with his weapon, Lost Vein lets him do this up to 4 times simultaneously. And while this skill doesn't extend to physical attacks, his fighting prowess and strength to level mountains in a single slash more than makes up for it. If that wasn't enough, he's also part of the omnious but powerful Demon Clan, which gives him access to even more strength, rapid healing, and the fire of hell, aptly named Hellblaze, that he can use to beat his opponents. Number 5. That time I got reincarnated as a slime.
これが俺の真の力だ。
凄まじいな。
Mirumu Tempest. If you've ever played a Japanese RPG, you'll probably think being reborn as a slime, the weakest monster in any game, is the worst fate that could befall someone. But this particular slime would have you rethinking that. With a body that lets him dissolve and incorporate his fallen enemies into his own power, his potential is simply infinite, and we'd need a whole other video just to discuss all the abilities he already has. He also takes for himself the abilities of those he absorbs and immediately gains a degree of mastery with them. Number 4. Hellsing Ultimate, Alucard. With a set of powers about as subtle as the pun in his name, the most powerful vampire in the Hellsing series sports a gallery of overpowered abilities from super strength, speed, healing, and just immortality outright, which makes you wonder if he even needs the super healing at all. Probably the only thing that can match his powers is the absolute lack of mercy he has for his targets, making sure that those he has his sights set on can never escape his chilling presence until they're dead. This vampire hunter also has all the abilities of a vampire: blood-sucking, flying, enthrallment, and telekinesis, without any of the weaknesses of a normal vampire. Number 3. Code Geass, Lelouch v Britannia.
ルールーシュビブリタニアが命じる。世界は我に従え。オールファイルルーシュ。
There's little more in life that gives you a feeling of power more than seeing your enemies walk on the palm of your hands. The absolute control that you can exert over other people can be addicting, as the begotten prince of Britannia, Lelouch, can attest to. His special ability is called the Geass, an emblem on his eye that he can activate upon making eye contact with another person to bend them to his will. There are other forms of the Geass in the world, ranging from mind reading to memory manipulation, but the bottom line is they all involve some form of manipulation. This, combined with his wit and intellect, immediately makes him the leader of a rebellion against the country and father that betrayed him. The ability isn't without its drawbacks, though, as he can only use it on one person in their whole lifetime, and they can only issue one order. Though if worded correctly, this one order can last until the person dies, or until Lelouch himself dispels the ability. Number 2. Mob Psycho 100, Mob. Small and wimpy looking, the protagonist Mob, or Shigo Kageyama, has simple goals in life: to make friends, fit in school, and maybe get closer to the apple of his eye, Tsubomi. What most people don't know, though, is that behind his timid demeanor lies a power of unreal proportions, all locked behind his emotions. Once they reach a point where he can no longer control them, often portrayed in the series as a count to 100, all of his dormant psychic powers are unleashed. He can easily level cities with a flick of his fingers and fly at supersonic speeds, as well as put up barriers as tough as diamonds themselves. The condition to unlock this power is also its greatest drawback, with Mob often losing control once he reaches 100% and requiring the help of his master and father figure, Reagan, to rein him in. Number 1. Overlord. Ain's old gown.
人の顔を見て吐くとは失礼にも程があるだろうが。
何をしたの？みんな逃げて！そいつは化け物！勝てるわけがない！
Have you ever wondered what it would be like to be put into your favorite game? To play the character you spent countless hours to level up and equip with the best gear available in the game, with the occasional microtransaction here and there to make sure you keep your edge over the newer players. Well, that's exactly what happened to the main character of Overlord, Suzuki Satoru. When his favorite game servers were to be closed, he wanted to still stay until its inevitable downfall, but to his surprise, rather than being logged out of the game, he was in the body of his character, Moment, and in front of the NPCs of the game, who seemed to be livelier than he remembers. While still sad that he is alone in a world of computer-generated people, he takes it upon himself to keep up with his character of an evil undead, and sets out to conquer the world within the game with his arsenal of game knowledge, event-only skills, and of course, cash items. That's it for the superpower animes with the most overpowered main characters. Did we miss any? If you have any suggestions, feel free to leave a comment as well as like and subscribe. Ring that notification bell and share this video.